Okay.
Well, surely we must get that intro upgraded considering that's not my name anymore. But welcome to the NXT review show here on Unpopular Review, which I will stick to calling it that until the deal between the brands stops. I am one of the hosts, Sabrina Stella, the wrestling doll, the unofficial camerawoman, the one of many names. Now, the great Grand Slam Pooba is not here on the show with us today, but since I took a visit to the SmackDown Penitentiary, as it says for tonight's show, NXT is never silent. So I figure why not bring the most unsilent one of all here on Unpopular Review, Zia's Silent Dice Man himself.
Yeah, look at it. Listen, NXT. Listen, it has been a while since I've actually watched and paid attention to NXT. Usually, I'm playing Xbox and I got it off on a distance. As usually every night I have pro wrestling in my ear and the distance, but I actually watched and paid attention tonight because I knew I was coming on here with you, and I wanted to make sure that I returned the favor for coming into the penitentiary. So. And not only that, I just wanted to make sure that, you know what, I'm just going to walk off. Jack, this is for you. Goldberg! Goldberg! Yeah, we got a lot of love for Goldberg
and I
today.
can see him in the comments writing that you are never allowed to be back on the show ever again just for that.
I'm excited. Let's get into it. It was a good night of NXT.
It was a really good night. And our first, as always, to join in on our comments, we have George. Love shouting. He loves telling us how he feels about everything, which is always nice to see. NXT was good tonight. And we did get to see Cedric and Ashante the Adonis on here, which means they're going to get a chance to shine. And not every member of the Hurt Business will be let go. And tonight people got to see a bit of what Cedric can do. And people got to see what Ashante can do outside of being mentioned from the former establishment on there that someone brought up tonight. What up, Ron? Please don't kill him.
I you know what? I was very surprised to see Cedric showing up. We didn't see these guys for at least a month after they appeared on SmackDown as some new tag team. We actually made a joke in a commercial about them because Vic thought it was the New Day again. So it
one
was
of my
good
favorite
to see.
clips now.
It's actually great to see them because I like this new version of NXT, and they're giving people who don't have a lot of shine. They're giving them some shine, and it's those mid-card, semi-old veterans, but not quite old veterans, some shine that just need a little tweaking on their character and a little bit more of absolutely. It's giving them some more eyes. And I will say that what Cedric Alexander had to say, his promo, probably the best I've ever seen him talk. I haven't heard him talk much, but that's the best I've heard him talk, and it was very believable. And I feel like that combination with him and Trick, I thought it worked very well for both people. Ashante didn't need him, non-factor, but Cedric Alexander, kudos.
But then again, if he wasn't up there, we wouldn't have gotten that reference that if he did it, that he would, even if he had a group non-relevant. Can we hear it again? And when he brought it to her, I was like, damn, boy, that was cold.
The way that they referenced Hit Row, and then Ashante does the Hit Row thing, like you didn't need it. That was a bad timed ill reference to Hit Row because Top Dollar did another botch over the weekend. So I don't think you want to bring any more eyes to
Well, I
Top
mean, according
Dollar.
to him, he had match of the night, as he heard from several other people at
No,
Slammiversary. So I
there's,
think he's happy at where he is, even if he apparently botched.
there's,
I didn't get to watch Slammiversary, so I can't say.
there's no way. Off the botch alone, there's no. Listen, how do you have somebody set up in the turnbuckle, in the second turnbuckle, sitting down like they're ready for a Bronco Buster, and all you're supposed to do is run and put your knee in them? Mira, just run and put your knee in them. And he runs straight to the other rope, and he flips over. He flips over the rope.
I don't even think he cared in that moment. I was just surprised with the outcome of that. I'm still surprised with the outcome of that match. But regardless, anyways, getting back to NXT. We got the back and forth, so basically we got Trick Williams versus Cedric Alexander tonight. And then we get footage of All Ego Ethan Page confronting Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe outside earlier today and storming off because he says they're not worth his time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Is anybody going to be worth your time, Ethan? Don't you want to have some formidable competition to fight you for that belt, even though you're going to keep it for a while? I mean, he is the first person since Kevin Owens to get a belt real soon after they debut. He beat Kevin Owens' record of 60 days with 40.
That's pretty impressive. I would say that means they believe in you, but Ethan Page is not. He's not one of those guys that have come in very green, right? Like, he has experience. He's had experience before he got signed to AEW. That was one of the reasons why he got signed to AEW. And I thought he was going to be a big deal. I thought him and Scorpio Sky were a great team.
They could have made a big deal, but then they messed up, and then they got called out.
Absolutely right. But I think that NXT is right where All Ego Ethan Page fits in perfectly, like a glove.
Yes, he fits
Lexus King
perfectly there.
Lexus King, not so much right now. I still haven't seen his fit, but I will say that Ethan Page is fitting in really well. We definitely need that chicken shit heel, and we haven't had that in a while for NXT. So I think he's doing great. I think he's doing great right now.
Listen, I love me some All Ego Ethan Page, so I am very much looking forward to see who will actually be a formidable opponent for that belt. And speaking of formidable opponents, we have Brooks Jensen versus Josh Briggs in a no DQ street fight match. And all I have to say is this was basically just a way to show that Jensen is the one that basically got in that car with Sean Spears and is being taken under Sean Spears' tutelage because he did say that the young talent over there were impressionable and looking for clout. So now you have one of those young impressionable ones that are going to turn into a mindless zombie, kind of like that 1984 novel. But the match was fine. It did what it needed to do. I enjoyed the choke slam.
I like the
that
double
was
boot
given
spot.
through the announce desk.
I really like the double boot spot.
We got the steel chair shots.
First of all, a all white steel chair, very stylish. Love it. Love an all white steel chair. You don't see that very much. But I literally was telling Mike Knox that I said this when they aired the commercial for NXT, and I said, listen, this Briggs and Jensen shit better pay off. Like, this better pay, because y'all made me invest in this shit for 2 months when I didn't even need to. And I felt like it still didn't get me there until Sean Spears showed up. So I think that Sean Spears is necessary for NXT. I like this for him. He's getting attention that he didn't get and that he should have gotten AEW. I'm all for it. I like the partnership. It turned the match around for me personally. I like to see what's going to happen next for both of them.
Well, I did too. I want to see where this is going to go because those two haven't had an interesting storyline since when Fallon Henley was still in them, and Jensen thought that Kiana James actually liked him, but she was just using him because she's an evil, vindictive snake who is up on Raw. but is now being used as enhancement talent since Dusty Rhodes put out a tweet saying that to stop calling wrestlers jobbers because it is degrading and offensive, basically.
Yeah.
Which I can
agree.
understand completely. So after all that insanity there, we had a little moment with Axiom chatting with Frazier backstage. The Rascals roll up, and Trey asks Wes and Zachary if they ever lost the tag titles. And technically they didn't because of the buffoonery that happened to where Wentz got let go and they had to vacate the belts. And they challenged those two for tonight, and they're like, oh, Nathan's like, oh, which one of you two is it going to be? And they're like, we're going to do a trios match. So Frazier accepts, and they say that they're going to need to find a partner, with Axiom telling him that he's going to be entering the next WWE Speed tournament. And Nathan Frazier's a little upset at that they're not focusing as a tag team, which everybody finds funny because didn't you do that to Axiom ages ago?
And they referenced that multiple times.
You have the fact that you went over there and did the same thing with Axiom getting in your face about it when you're like, oh no, it'll be fine. I'll still be focused on the tag team championship. We're all good. And now that Axiom's getting a shot, you're going to be the same way that he was and expect him to back down. They're so breaking up. I don't know when, but they're so breaking up.
I think that
there's not going to be no heel turn, but they're going to break up.
I think that Axiom is a star. So that would, so they didn't say who was going to go against, right? But I would imagine that he will probably at some point link up with Andrade. And I think that Speed is more so just showing off skills and to seeing if people can go with people that are on the main roster. I think that Axiom can go. I think that they want to kind of put a spotlight on him temporarily, even if it is temporarily. But it wouldn't be a bad idea. Nathan Frazier is cool. He's dope. But as far as what WWE is right now, is marketing and people with mask and marketability, he's no Axiom. So that's the disconnect in the team. So I do believe I have to agree with you that they probably will break up, and it's definitely sooner rather than later.
Yeah, which is personally one of those things that I would be fine with because as much as I like watching the both of them in the ring, I think they're just better off by themselves. Yes, it would be because MSK knows how to bring the fire. I did get watching a video from TNA putting together some of their matches, and I did enjoy it, especially one that included the Rascals versus the North and Moose, with that including one Mr. Ethan Page. So who knows? Maybe they might get involved in some history that might play into it. Be like, last time y'all got in the ring with us, we beat you down to the ground. But after all that, we get cuts the commercial. Then we get Soruka, Karmen, and one of the other girls that hangs out backstage. They're watching footage, talking about the tag titles. When Lash Legend and as
was
we're
it Lola Vice there? Was it?
I believe so.
Wasn't it Lola Vice? Like, why was she even in this segment? I didn't understand it. Like,
on her face. And those two saved her last week. So that's what happened. So they were watching footage, talking about the tag titles. Lash and the future Mrs. X Harris, as our lovely executive contradictor likes to call every woman that he ever has interest in, the future X Mrs. Harris. They say if anybody's going to be challenging for the tag titles, it's them. And then they bring up a fair point of, when was the last time you guys won a match? Because one of the last times I remember watching them in a match was in a pay-per-view and the kickoff show when they all lost. So that brings them to challenge them for tonight. And then we get a quick squash match with Eddie Thorpe versus Lexus King, with Eddie beating the crap out of it, with Lexus beating the crap out of Eddie in the beginning, but with the coronation reversed. And a lifting DDT later, Eddie Thorpe beats his ass down to the ground.
Eddie Thorpe, it's weird seeing him in TNA to me. I don't know why. It's weird seeing him there, but it just is. And
When did
somebody,
he feel good at TNA?
yeah, somebody in wait, George, Lola Vice is growing on you. Lola Vice should have been on you. You should have been on the Lola Vice train.
That sounded bad.
Forget Lola Vice. You should have been on Valley Loretta when she was in Bellator. That's how long I've been a fan of this woman. I've been a fan of this woman when she was a nobody. Just because I saw a random Facebook video. You should have been on the train. Shame. For shame, George. For shame. But
not all of us that watch wrestling watch boxing and MMA stuff.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it. It just came across my screen and I said, who is this hot Latina out here twerking and knocking bitches out? Who is she? I had to Google it. I immediately followed her on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. I followed everything. I'm a fan. But Eddie Thorpe in NXT is very, very strange to me. Especially because he has more experience than Lexis King. And I get what they're trying to do with Lexis King, but for some reason, it does not connect with me. I feel like I know what he's trying to do. It doesn't
connect with most people.
I know what he's trying to do as far as separating himself from his dad. However, most younger wrestling fans, I would say 25 and under, don't even know who Brian Pillman is.
I didn't know who Brian Pillman was, and I'm over that age range.
Yeah, like, so I feel like, and they might not even know who Rick Steiner is, Scott Steiner is, or how important they were to the tag team division. But the fact that WWE keeps reminding people, why are they not reminding people or showing vignettes of who Brian Pillman was, right? And that
because they've been trying to separate
because of the gun incident, right? But the gun incident was pretty out there, but for the kickstarting the Attitude Era, it was great. But in the same sense, you need to bring some sort of recognition to his lineage of who he really is. The same thing they did with Braun Breaker, right? Like Braun Breaker should have easily been Braun Rick Steiner. Doesn't sound that nice. Braun Steiner doesn't sound that nice. But they do acknowledge his daddy and his uncle. And if they would just do that a little bit more with Lexis King, I think that there wouldn't be so much of a disconnect between Lexis King and the rest of the audience to why they can't get behind him of this moniker. He can wrestle great, has a good look, nice veneers, pearly whites, great. Could put him on a bus. But nobody cares about his character, and that's the problem. Even when people don't care about him now, even when he trapped Eddie's arm in the steel steps and break his scepter over his hand? I thought that was a nice heel touch. I did enjoy that spot very much. That was a nice heel touch. Listen, I might need parts to that folder of Valerie Loretto. I might need that.
So after that, we get Trick being interviewed backstage, and then we have Pete Dunne just watching in the back, all creepy like. And he says the road to the title starts tonight with the win over Cedric Alexander, and no one is going to stop him, with Pete Dunne piping up and asking if that's so. And then we get Ora Meza going to make his entrance to the room before he fights Ashante the Adonis. And with
just random shit.
Yes, and with all that lovely information, everything that we had gotten, I think now would be a nice time for one of the first times in a hot minute to have a little commercial playing right here on Unpopular Review. I know it's a little early, but hey, why not? We got plenty of stuff to talk about. So let's put it out and put it out for everybody to see. You're all watching Unpopular Review.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
Oh, we have a new World Heavyweight Champion. Y'all can play Drew McIntyre's music all you want. That's not changing anything. Over you screw me like this? That was a clear 3. You lost to a Falcon Arrow.
You know what I'm saying? I got 4 kids, okay? I can't do that anymore. But I have a soft spot for Jonathan Horatio Rodriguez because he saw us. He remembered us. My man Why says, yo, you remember us? He shows him the shirt. We put him on a shirt from being on SmackDown. He goes, yo, I remember you brothers. Y'all want to be on TV and always say, right place, right time. White rapper, do black people.
With previous guys, I like this. I like the idea of this whole farewell tour. I like the way Danielson did it. You give the higher ups a year to work you in, and also, man, it's a good. I don't want to call it a PR stunt, but I think it's a good way to send a Mount Rushmore guy out.
Yeah, we got grown ass people bitching and complaining and bitching because he didn't roll the shoulder or take it out. Okay, guess what? I guarantee you, 90% of the shit they do. That's wrong. I'm sorry. I do the whole criticism. 97% of the shit they do, you can't. So let's just hold off with the boxing because it's a story. Okay, it's a story.
Hold on here. Is this the barbershop? Is this the barbershop? It's the barbershop. Yeah, I mean, we can't talk straight in the barbershop. Then where can we talk straight? We can't talk straight nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation.
And we are back on NXT review. Sabrina Stella joined by Zia Silent tonight. And we still have plenty to talk about in regards to NXT. But I will just say one thing about what happened yesterday. We now officially have my clip of Dominic Mysterio that is now my favorite, which is him telling Liv Morgan that he does not like her. And you can tell when someone of Latin and Hispanic heritage that they are angry when they start yelling at you in Spanish and basically calling you a B word, calling you stupid, all that stuff. I was just like, if he turns on Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam and goes to Liv Morgan after all that, everybody's heart in that room will be broken. And at the same time, they'll be like, I want to be Rhea Ripley's next to the submissive, basically.
I somehow believe that he will, just because of the character arc.
I mean, he'll realize that he liked being dominated, but then it turns out he enjoys being in charge of someone else even more.
I think so. I think also what they're doing behind the scenes with Damian, who they're secretly turning to a face slowly. And
we've all seen it for weeks now.
And then with the partnership or the friendship that he's had with Rhea for the better part of 6 years since they were in NXT, they show that a lot on social media. So I absolutely think that I think that Dom will eventually turn on Mommy. It might be inadvertently, but then he'll just accept it. And this is how you get Mommy full face, no tweener face. Because right now she's a tweener face. But this is how you get them, both. Judgment Day will just be McDonough, Mysterio, Finn. Carlito, and Finn. So that's my prediction. We'll have a prediction show next Thursday. So you guys make sure you check it out. But that's not what we on right now. We are on NXT TNA. NXT. There we go.
Yes, that's how we do it here on NXT. And whenever Ron and I figured out NX Taco Tuesday. But anyways, yes, they are. But we had Ashante the Adonis versus Oro Mensah. And I will say this. I was at an event at a place called the Sausage Castle a couple years back. And if anybody knows what the Sausage Castle is, it is known as the biggest party castle ever in Central Florida. Has been featured on MTV Spring Break, apparently. I didn't watch it. But I was there, and he was wrestling in the show, I believe also alongside his former stablemate in AJ Francis. So it had been about 2 years since I had last seen Ashante in action.
And you said this place is called the Sausage Castle?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Googling this right now. Go ahead.
It's run by Gary Busey's son. But anyways, it was a good match. It was nice seeing the back and forth. They both did their thing. And I'm just going to say this. Ashante, you might have thought Jakara Jackson was fine as hell, but you should have stayed away because she used her looks to her advantage and distracted yo ass and gave Oro a win for the first time in God knows how long and finally stopped making him looking like a punching bag. I've said this. Ron has said this. The metaphor, Oro's been the punching bag for a long time, and we were sick and tired of it. So to see him get a win over a returning Ashante the Adonis was nice in that sense, but also it was sad in that sense that he just came back and returned to NXT and was getting some chance to shine by himself, and he got beaten down. But It's a progressive storyline. He'll probably get a win over Oro at some point. And then afterwards, we got Oro calling out Ethan Page a few times from basically to call him out and to challenge him one day to fight his ass for that belt. Or just to fight him, period.
There was a lot of backstage segments with
NXT is very much known for that.
I mean, I maybe I never paid attention to it when it's been on in background while I'm doing other things, but there was a lot of Ethan Page tonight. But
they're doing more for it. They've done more for him in 40 days than AEW's done for him in 3 years.
3 years exactly. So you know what? I am not mad at it though. It was really good. And again, NXT hasn't had a chicken shit heel in so long, or on the men's side of things, that I think it was necessary. So I was absolutely 100% fine with it, because what that does when you show backstage vignettes of that magnitude, it helps build character. I believe that it helps build character 100%, and it's what you want to show before somebody gets to the main roster. You want to see if they can develop character. You want to see if they can have humor, seriousness, all of that. You need that. If you're going to the main roster, if you're going to Fox, you're going to USA Network, you're going to Netflix, you're going to need some sort of believability, and in which we saw some great acting from Liv Morgan last night. So you need it. So this is great for Ethan
I said
Ethan
in
Page.
the chat that set they reminded me of the Lana, Bobby, Liv Morgan story back in the day during their wedding.
Better executed though. Better executed.
But we got another backstage moment with Charlie Dempsey showing Tony D a ransom note with Wren coming up to take credit for it. And he tells him to just give her what she wants. And she says that she has a match for tonight. And for Dempsey's sake, that she better not lose. And who knows what she might do or say if she does. Which, for everybody that knows, I have talked of how good she is before she got signed, being a heel, formerly known as Maddie Rankowski, when she wrestled a couple times on AEW, wrestled multiple times on NWA, was tag champion over there. I've seen many a wrestling match online with her being a heel, and she knows how to make the crowd hate her. So she will definitely be able to do that very easily with the NXT universe when that happens. And with her match against Carlee Bright, which it was good. It was nice to see Carlee get a little bit of some action in there. She had Kendall Gray by her side, who did come out to help by attacking Miles Bourne while the No Quarter Catch crew was out there helping, making sure that she got the win and all that. And with a little help from Dempsey, she got a folding press onto Carlee for the win. Wow, the Z silence is actually silent for a bit. I'm surprised.
I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. Right?
You can listen. You can be brutally honest about it. We rant about stuff here on the NXT channel, and that's why people like watching this.
I know that
so if you didn't like it, you can go ahead.
I know that Wren is some sort of big deal, right? I know that she's some big deal on the indies, whatever. However, NXT is not treating her like a big deal. Therefore, they are not making me care about her. They're not even intriguing me to care about her. That is the disconnect with her. Nice look. She's attractive. Cool. She can sell some pamphlets. But her wrestling ability is what makes her shine. But they need her to develop a character, and what she's associated with Dempsey right now, I don't see her character development. Dempsey is just as bland as a slice of bread to me. In which that is disturbing, seeing as though who his father is in the great William Regal. Like, Regal was able to play a character all the way back to his WCW days, in which I'm still watching WCW from the 96, 97 era, and I'm not seeing that from his son, which I thought that I would see from his son. So it's weird to me, but I enjoy the match. It's just the performance and the quality of the character in Wren that I did not enjoy. That's the difference of that. And NXT is supposed to get these people ready for the main roster, get us intrigued about them. And truthfully, there was at one point in time where NXT told the best stories in WWE, period. I mean, across the board, they were telling the best stories in professional wrestling. And I know that they're trying to get back to that. They may have one or two of the best stories in professional wrestling, but across the board, maybe 4 years ago, they had the best stories across the board. That's what they need to get back to. And that's the disconnect for me with Wren Sinclair. We here? We here? We live? We here?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Sorry. This is taking care of something real quick.
You're good.
So, yes, I can understand where you're coming from in regards to everything. Yes, I've said that the No Quarter Catch crew is about as entertaining as watching paint dry and that they're all very boring. But maybe once Wren taps into that heel side that everybody will be able to see on TV, and those that have watched her work on NWA and a little bit on AEW will get a chance to have seen it, she might be able to make them a little more entertaining. Keyword might. I'm not taking my chances fully, but who knows what she'll be able to do. Maybe she'll be able to make them a little more likable. Actually, likable is not the right word. A little more hated for being heel characters versus being hated for being boring. I mean, if they want to be the next Gallus, they're going to have to step up. And nobody wants to be the next Gallus.
Where the hell is Gallus?
Nothing can help Gallus. They're about as entertaining as watching paint dry. In the ring, they're fine. It's just promo work. They're as entertaining as watching paint dry.
It's definitely the promo work. It's definitely the promo work.
That's why they have Joe Coffey, and even he can't do anything to save them. Is something up with your mic or your audio or something?
I'm good. I thought you were going into the next segment. Listen, I had no thoughts on Joe Coffey. I don't give a good dog damn about Joe Coffey. I thought you were going into the next segment, but it sounded like you wanted me to talk about Joe Coffey, but there's not much to say about Joe Coffey.
I was just trying to take care of something and letting it load up and all that fun stuff. I just had some notes and stuff that I have been using.
Oh no, if you need me to ramble on while you get your stuff together, you let me know. I got a lot to say, and what I have to say will piss EC off, but I don't want to jump ahead.
Let's see.
Because I heard what EC had to say tonight on the Raw review show, in which I am offended. I am offended. That
you're not offended by what he does, and he's not doing his job right.
I am offended that Freckle Sensei had the immediate goal, the cojones, to say that they are the undisputed show of UPR when they have the lowest views in all of UPR.
Well, because nobody wanted to watch a review show of a program that was 3 hours long, and I would know because I'd done a few episodes of that before, and I was like, I am so tired, but I will still come and help anyways because I'm just that nice. Listen, everybody on the program is going to think their show is the best show, which will give them the confidence to do it well. So I can understand that. However, Ace needs to understand that other shows are a little bit better because we don't put everybody to sleep.
Exactly. Listen, they changed their time from Monday to Tuesday.
To try to compete with us.
We're still sleeping. Explain that, Raw review crew. Explain that. Explain. You can't. Mira, you can't. But anyway, I digress. Sabrina, what do we have next on the docket?
Well, we had a lovely match between Trick Williams and Cedric Alexander getting a chance to show what he can do. Because honestly, one of the last times that I remember seeing Cedric in action was when he had that match with Ricochet, where Ricochet did the Eddie Guerrero spot, making it look like he got hit in the chair with him falling back like that, essentially.
That was a long time ago.
That is my point exactly. And then the other match he had after that were matches on main events or probably dark matches on house shows. That's how very little Cedric had been used since, and that's why they paired him with Ashante the Adonis, who even they weren't being used except on main events, which not everybody watches. So now they're being put on NXT to be used, and everybody watching the program will now get a chance to fully see what Cedric can do. And all I must say is I am finally happy to get to see that, because I will be honest, I don't normally look at men of color like that, but Cedric, Big Swole is a lucky woman, because that man is attractive. I will say that. I will drool. I have no shame because I know I'm never going to meet the man. So I have no problem embarrassing myself on the internet right now talking about that.
You know what? You are absolutely right. Big Swole is a lucky woman because she's lucky that any man would want to wife her up. But I get it. You're in the pro wrestling industry. It is what it is. I'm not giving her a look. Beauty is beauty. Love is love. Love who you're going to love. Cool. I love. Love whoever you're going to love. But I'm just saying, if I'm a professional wrestler, I'm not looking at Big Swole and thinking, I got to wife that. I'm just saying, that's it. But Cedric Alexander, I will say that, again, it was nice to see him get some shine. I'm super happy for people like Cedric, like Ashante. Well, not so much Ashante. He deserves to be released. I don't care. You can't get me to care about Ashante in any sense of caring. You can't get me to do it, right? But I will say that Cedric has something, and there's a reason why he keeps surviving cuts after cuts after cuts. Like, there's something there. There's something they believe in with him. And I'm still trying to see it. I feel like I see something, but I don't know what it is. But after tonight, with this promo with Trick Williams, I feel like they definitely know that they've unlocked something with him. So I'm very intrigued to see what it is. Clearly, Trick Williams he's a definite star. Now, whether he's a SmackDown star or he's a Raw star is the difference, because every brand star kind of has something different. Like, even if you wanted to go back to the mid 2000s, like Randy Orton and John Cena, you can go to Edge, you can go to Batista, you can go to Undertaker, you can go to even in a lesser degree, like Ryback, CM Punk. Like, everybody had a different kind of edge to them depending on their brand, and that's what made their brand stick out. I don't know which brand Trick would fit on better, but he's definitely a star. And I would think that since Carmelo was on SmackDown, Trick would have to be on Raw. You need to keep those two away from each other, because we don't want the same story told over and over and over if they go to SmackDown.
Well, I mean, tell that to Randy Orton and John Cena. They had to tell the same story like 20 times.
Yeah, listen, the same thing with Edge. The two greatest opponents that Cena has had is Orton and Edge. And I definitely want the last WrestleMania match with Cena to be Orton. I think that it has to happen. But that's another topic. But in retrospect, I think Trick Williams is meant for the main roster. Cedric is already on the main roster, so you need to see how he meshes with somebody who understands camera angles, timing, what you need to do in the ring. In which there was one botch in the match that the crowd didn't even care about it, in which I think that was pretty dope about the crowd, that they did not care about when Cedric pre-flipped early and was supposed to do like a roll-up, and he didn't. It was a mistiming thing, which is fine. It's choreographed, but at the same time, dancers missteps all the time. So it's cool. The NXT crowd didn't do like they didn't even care about it. They enjoyed the match. And that's one of the dope things about the fans of NXT They just want to be entertained, and they're okay with it because half of them can't do it. That's it. Half of them can't do it. I took an elbow drop in the Briscoes barn when they had a wrestling ring there, probably, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago. No, I don't want to. No, the top rope.
Listen, I understand.
No, so the NXT crowd didn't care about it. I'm good with the way that they react to things. Not like AEW, not like a Raw, not like a SmackDown. They definitely have their own identity, and it was great to see that they didn't even care about the botch.
Well, that and most of them are people that frequently go, so they're used to seeing everything. So even if there's like a botch here and there, sometimes they honestly don't even care. But I can also understand the whole because half of them can't do it, and you taking something. And when I again went to that event at the Sausage Castle, the ring that they used was the WrestleMania 3 ring, and I sat on that thing, and it had a ton of padding on it. It was stiff.
Very.
It was stiff. And watching people get in that ring later and wrestle, and seeing them fall, and I was like thinking to myself, that has got to hurt like hell. But anyways, after all that fun, Trick Williams and Cedric shake hands. Cedric rolls out the ring, which thank God he did, because Pete Dunne came and attacked Trick Williams from behind. And basically, this is just going to be going on for a little bit, so that way, up until he gets his shot with Ethan Page again, it's going to be Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. Bruiserweight versus Mr. Whoop That Trick.
The Bruiserweight has returned. I am loving every character arc of the Bruiserweight.
Even the Butch character.
Even what he's doing with Sheamus, they're doing double duty. They're doing double duty with him, and I think that's the way to go. Because Pete Dunne is so beloved by most wrestling fans. If you love straight wrestling, straight attitude, technicality, Pete Dunne is the epitome of all of that. And they absolutely love Pete Dunne. The problem is when you get him on USA or Fox, they don't know what to do with him. That's the problem. They don't know what to do with him.
They gave him the name Butch for crying out loud.
You could tell that was some Vince McMahon shit. You can tell that was some Vince McMahon shit because they gave us Max Dupree. So
that
who the hell
name died, and thank God it did. Thank God it did. When LA said, "My name is not Max. Don't ever call me that. Max is dead." I was like, "Thank God." There's been some talk about people saying Trick's main roster ready, but he wants to stay in NXT and develop a little bit. That Tiffany said that same thing, and look at her now. She's thriving. She's the youngest Miss Money in the Bank that we've had, even though she wasn't my pick to win, but she's doing good up there. I'm not going to say that she's not, and I will never talk negatively about her.
I also think, and tell me if you see the comparison, where I also think that Tiffany Stratton, Kiana James, who got drafted to Raw, I feel like they're on the same trajectory, right? Like, I feel like Tiffany has the look that they're looking for on the main roster. However, Kiana James has the character and the wrestling skills that they desire on the main roster. She just has to get where Tiffany is with the whole center of the universe thing. Like, she hasn't grasped her character 100%, but she has the wrestling moves that I think that she out wrestles Tiffany in the sense of what they're looking for on USA and Fox, as opposed to Tiffany, I feel like is just performing. Because outside of the moonsault that she does, I don't think that she wrestles very well. But I think that Kiana James does. But Kiana James doesn't have a character that people on the main roster care about. Do you see where I'm coming from with that?
I mean, I was about to say when you said Kiana and the trajectory, I was like, one's getting pushed to the moon. The other one didn't even get pushed to the grocery store at the corner.
Okay.
And speaking of people getting a push, We get
Yes.
Thea Hail having an interview backstage with Kelly Kincaid, telling everybody that she's grown over her last title opportunity. She put over Rich Holland as a good friend who basically kept her from breaking Roxanne's arm, because if he didn't, there would be no title match for her. Stephanie Vaquer and or Julia will be the ones to beat her for that belt, because Cora is going to come back eventually after recovering and take that belt and become NXT Women's Champion. That's what I think. As of right now, who else could be a good contender? I don't know right now. I know if Ron were here, he would say JC would be a good champion, but I think she still needs a little bit more time, and she's too busy being enhancement talent, since we cannot call people jobbers anymore, because if we do, Dusty Rhodes will hunt us all down one by one.
How do you feel about this comment from George?
That I had thought that Chelsea should have had the Money in the Bank briefcase, because at least she would have made it funny with attempted cash-ins. She could have had multiple different Money in the Bank briefcases that matched her outfits. And she could have been the first failed cash-in, and it would have made sense because she would have made it funny.
Still think, as far as we go on the penitentiary, we still think at the penitentiary that Tiffany Stratton will be the first failed cash-in. I have to agree with that. I think that it's going to happen.
And I said it before, and I will say it again. If she cashes in and she fails, I don't want to hear none of the fans getting fickle and complaining that she didn't deserve it. If y'all in the chat complain and be fickle about it, I don't want to hear from none of y'all. I will ignore that comment. I won't care.
I love it.
So basically, after the interview, Trick Williams yells at Shawn Michaels, how dare he, after his birthday, to get a match with Pete Dunne. And then Roxanne ran down Shawn Michaels for giving Thea Hail a sit-down interview. You talked about you and your time with the belt and how great of a champion you are. Let someone else get some time to talk about their shot at the title.
Trick.
If you don't think Thea Hail is going to win, just say it.
Listen, Trick, Roxanne, they're running out of opponents.
Yeah, they are.
I get what they're doing with Thea. I like it. I've always liked Thea Hail. The cocaine amped up on energy drinks type shit, a little off for me, but I'm glad.
I was about to say, you're going to have to talk to Katie about that.
I'm glad that they turned that down a little bit, but to see her just calm in an interview, I will say that it was a nice touch for her. It brought a lot of different character art for her, and I feel like whenever I'm watching NXT, I'm looking for the development. Reason why is because Booker T is always talking about the development. He's getting it in my mind when I'm listening to commentary that these people are still developing. How fast they develop is depending on how you see them, how it's portrayed to you. And I think that Thea she's paid her dues in developing. And I feel like Thea Hail is where Roxanne Perez was 10 months ago.
I would have said close to maybe like almost a year ago.
It's very close. It's very close depending on how you see it. But I feel like Thea is on that cusp of where Roxanne was when she was butting up against Fatal Attraction and Mandy Rose.
You mean Toxic Attraction?
Toxic Attraction. I said Fatal Attraction. Shit, that's a movie. Damn. Toxic Attraction. But Mandy Rose, the stuff with Mandy Rose not come up, I still think that the torch would not have been passed to Roxanne just quite then. I think that she probably would have expanded. She got canned in December, January of last year. I think that they probably would have pushed it to Stand and Deliver, which is WrestleMania weekend, correct?
Yes.
So I feel like they probably would have pushed that reign to Stand and Deliver and then pass the torch, because that's usually what NXT has been known to do, is you pass the torch WrestleMania weekend. And I think that Roxanne just got thrusted into it, in which she's adapted very well. But I think that now she's adapted so well that there's nobody left. There's nobody left. Thea Hail needs to get the torch passed to her. And you maybe have Roxanne come along for another, I don't know, 2 months. And then she just fades off into the sunset and then quietly goes to Raw or SmackDown. Probably more so SmackDown than Raw. But we don't know. We won't know until somebody like Alexa Bliss makes her return. And then you can kind of see where a Roxanne Perez will fit in. Or Charlotte Flair.
Well, after winning that belt from Mandy on December 13th, 2022, she has shown that she has grown a lot. It has been over a year. And speaking of people who have grown a bit, we have the Metaphor versus Soruka and Karmen Petrovic, which match was good. It did what it needed to do. It also made sure that the Metaphor, not all of them looked like jokes anymore, which was nice. And they really need to build up some of these teams more, because especially the fact that they had taken those belts from NXT and brought them up to get unified in the main roster, which I will always say is one of the dumbest things they've done in the last few years. And currently now, one of the reasons why we have a mid-card title for the women down there, I'm just going to say that it was nice to see all four of them. It was the ring. It was nice to see Jakara in the ring for the first time in a while since the incident where she had broken her wrist or her arm. I wasn't mad at this match. I was fine. I was just happy that it wasn't also just a 2-minute match like we got with Bianca and Chelsea on Friday. Go ahead and be honest. If you didn't like it, be honest.
So wait, what were we talking about now? Because I heard Chelsea and I lost track.
The Metaphor versus Soruka and Karmen Petrovic.
Hated it. Now this is where we wake EC goofy ass up. So I happened to check out the Raw review show at 7 p.m. featuring Freckled Sensei and Executive Consultant, where they said the goofy shit that they were the undefeated #1 show on UPR. However, you guys' support does not reflect that. So therefore, they are not that show. They're not better than NXT. They're not better than the SmackDown Penitentiary. So they are a non-motherfucking factor. But I digress. Here is where this is the issue. I literally heard this man, Executive Consultant, say he doesn't know why. He doesn't know why Zelina Vega gets the love that she gets because she, quote unquote, can't wrestle. She can't play a character, and all she can do is talk.
She can do all that and then some. Wrestle circles around Jakara Jackson.
This woman is well revered in Dominican culture, Mexican heritage, all of that. She is well respected because she was a well respected luchador before she was even signed to NXT. But then has the nerve to sit up here and say Jakara Jackson is good. If you saw that match that they had tonight, Jakara Jackson is no better. In EC terms, she is no better than Zelina Vega. Every criticism that he's had of Zelina Vega, Jakara Jackson just proved tonight on NXT. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Go back and watch the match. Everybody in the chat, go back and watch the match, because I am not lying when I tell you this. I am not lying when I say this. I'm not being cocky. I'm not being braggadocious. I'm not being an asshole that I usually tend to be. I am telling you the truth. And this is why the Executive Consultant is now the executive contradiction, because he won't accept. He would not accept Liv Morgan at first, but would accept Maxine Dupree. Now he accepts Liv Morgan. He was one of the people calling Liv Morgan Mid-Morgan. Okay? Then you want to tell me that Zelina Vega isn't a good wrestler. All she does is good talking up Rey Mysterio, but you're going to praise Jakara Jackson when she just showed that goofy match that she just had tonight? No. Mm-mm. I won't stand for it anymore. You cannot call yourself the A show of Unpopular Review and then give us some goofy takes like that. Absolutely not. It stops here. I'm the one that's going to stop it. I'm just saying. That's it. I just wanted to put the contradiction on notice.
You sound
You're
like
absolutely
me.
right, George. He can't make up his mind.
No, he can't. I was about to say, you sounded like me when I talked about when I saw B-Fab wrestle Elektra Lopez live, and that was literally the worst shit I had seen in my life.
Jesus! Thank you.
This is why B-Fab is a manager, because as much as she has trained at the Heart Dungeon, which shout out to the Heart Dungeon, because I know a lot of people that train over there, and they do train some great people, and they are talented, but B-Fab needs about 10 plus years before she can be any good, because she might be nice outside of there. I don't know her, but in that ring, she was terrible. So I thank Rhea Ripley for eliminating her first out of the Royal Rumble this last year. No, not this year.
Natty can't even save that woman. The greatest technical women's wrestler of all time cannot even save that woman. What does that tell you? I don't care what Mike Knox is talking about with Charlotte Flair. I do not care. I don't care how many t-shirts Natty sold. I don't care how much merchandise she sold. I don't care. What she presents to me in that squared ring is what matters to me. That is a wrestler. I don't care about a performer. I don't give a good dog damn about a performer. I don't care. Sting was not a performer, but he's my favorite wrestler of all time. You got to stop. You got to suspend your disbelief of this. Oh, well, they sell t-shirts and hats and cups and mugs and sunglasses and all that. We don't care. Nobody cares. Half of us don't even have that shit. I don't have it. I don't have it. I have no Sting shirts, but he's my favorite of all time. Does that mean I'm not a fan? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm still watching every week. That's what matters. We don't take account to the fans that matter when they watching shit. That the viewers. They don't count. They don't count. And she couldn't get the woman couldn't get over in Stu Hart's dungeon. We don't know many people who wrestled in Stu Hart's dungeon and still couldn't wrestle. That is an anomaly. That's like getting trained by Kurt Angle. You still can't do a German suplex. What? The greatest suplexer of all time, and you can't do a suplex? Oh. Open up a can of worms. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm loving this. Presenting future commercial clips for Unpopular Review. We got like 20 tonight. But I'm just going to go through it real quickly. So Ethan Page, he gets on that. He brings out a referee to the ring to question the rest about Ora's 3 count against him last week. Ora Mensa stacks him out of nowhere and then counts another 3 pin against the champion with time running out for him, with time running out for Mensa, proving that the unofficial 3 counts are working. And let's just say Joe Hendry is promised the concert next week, and Gallus is livid about it, which too bad for y'all and for Steven, who don't believe in Joe Hendry, but I believe in Joe Hendry in this house over here. So I will look forward to that concert.
I hate that shit so much. I can't.
So do you believe?
I cannot lie. I cannot lie. Listen, the vignette came on, and I'm playing Xbox, and the shit came in my head, my earphones, on the left side. And I'm like, all right, Joe Hendry, okay, whatever. And I'm playing, and like 2 minutes go by, and I'm just like, I believe in Joe Hendry. I'm like, what the fuck? When did it just come in my mind? And then they do the vignette, and it was like, oh, he sold more. He's in the top 10. He's higher than Taylor Swift in Britain. Like, what? What is going on right now? Like, it's
I
a
can kind of
song.
believe that.
I get it. It's a catchy song because catchy shit is supposed to be stuck in our head. That's what makes us. That's why we see TikToks. This is why we see dances. I don't know how many Cardi B, Sexy Red, Meg Thee Stallion songs I've been got stuck in my head. This damn star Wakashi wa star shit is stuck in my head now. I'm so tired of it, but I can't stop watching it. Every time somebody does the dumb dance, I'm still watching it. It doesn't matter. Like, I Believe in Joe Hendry is now stuck in my head, and I can't stop listening to it. I get it. I hate him as a wrestler. Trash. Don't like it. But the song is what makes me like him. So I guess I believe in Joe Hendry. I'm sorry. I believe him.
No, I do too. But I just want to ask. So since you're not that big a Joe Hendry fan, does that mean you were happy when he didn't win the championship at Slammiversary on Sunday?
Oh, I was very happy. I was very happy for Nick Nemeth. I was very happy for Nick Nemeth.
As am I.
As if he is one of the greatest stars to ever go from WWE to TNA and win a world heavyweight championship in both promotions. There's not many, but he's one of the greatest. There's Christian. Well, Christian didn't win. He did it backwards. He won TNA first and then WWE. But you can put Lashley there. Lashley was also backwards. Never mind. Damn. I think he's the only one. Actually, Angle. Angle was the first. Then Nick Nemeth. Booker T never won it. Nash never won it. AJ never won it. AJ won the TNA first, WWE second. So in that sense of going from the greatest promotion to a lesser promotion, it would have to be Nick Nemeth first. Well, Nick Nemeth and Bobby Lashley would be the top two. But I was happy for Nick Nemeth. He still could go. He didn't deserve to be released or not re-signed, but it could have been his decision. However, I'm cool that it wasn't Moose that retained. Joe Hendry didn't need it. Joe Hendry has so much power right now with NXT. You cannot tell me that he's not going to sign with NXT. You can, like, I would be appalled if he does not sign with NXT.
I'll be appalled if they death rubble his theme song up when he gets signed to NXT. If they let that person be in charge of that music, I will despise them more than I already do with some of these theme songs that we have now.
I might absolutely be a brat, but it's okay. It's okay. My son is, so I have to exude his energy. He's asleep right now, so I have to pick up all the energy that he left me out here. I feel his spirit, so I got to get it out before he wakes up in the morning. He has to go to daycare and he's cranky. So I'm being the brat. You're absolutely right. I am being the brat. Moose does want the match with Obafemi, and that
match is going to be fire.
To happen. That has to happen.
I mean, who else is Obafemi going to fight next?
Exactly.
But speaking of brats, we had the Rascals versus Nathan Frazier, Axiom, and Javon Evans, who volunteered himself to be a part of this 6-man tag match for the main event, which I am so thankful for because everybody on this show knows how much I love Wesley and how much I love MSK. Listen, if somebody wants to buy me that bright green t-shirt, even though I don't like bright green, I will gladly wear it. Or buy me any MSK shirt, I will wear it happily with pride. And watching some Rascal stuff, I've fallen in love with all of them and getting to see 2 of the 3 of them live in TNA. And then getting to see MSK as a tag team over there, fist bumping what Zachary wants when he was still Nash Carter and getting that picture with Wesley will always be one of the biggest highlights of my life. But you got a match with like 6 guys, and most of them are fast-paced wrestlers, and it does not slow down. It was hard for Frazier, Axiom, and Javon Evans to keep up with them for a while, which was crazy. But this match, I just loved it. I mean, I'm not going to put no bias, even though I do love most of them, but it was a great match. It kind of felt like a TNA X Division kind of match, but I enjoyed it. And the Rascals got the win, pinning Axiom for the victory, which they shook hands. They got out of respect, and it was a very nice show, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Javon Evans has been growing on me, and he opened my eyes when he had the promo, talking to, Ethan, Trick Williams, and
And
who
Sean
else was
Spears.
it? And yeah, Sean Spears. I thought he outshined all of them. To be the youngest in the ring and outshine all of them, because I felt like he definitely spoke from the heart. I immediately said, damn it, I like this young boy. I like him. So I was all for this match. I'm not a I'm traditionally not a high flying, fast paced, over the top type wrestling fan. I tend to like my matches a little bit more methodical. I like a little bit more slowing down, a little storytelling. But I get it. This was on the level of what AEW fans bust nuts over. This was up their alley, right? If they did this in AEW, we'd hear about it for 4 or 5 days in our UPR chat, right? So, but it's crickets when it's NXT. But they put on the same quality of match, absolutely 100% great. I have no complaints about this match. I think the right team won. But it's nice to see that they have something more with Wesley to do, other than chase that North American Championship.
Well, he can't chase it anymore now that Obafemi beat him.
Exactly. But he's in my top 5 of North American champions, in which we are going to have that top 5 show coming up very, very soon. We have to lock it down. We can't do it this upcoming Thursday or next Thursday, because we have the SummerSlam prediction show. Maybe we'll combine them and do it right after, but we don't know yet. We'll have to get with the executive consultant. But he's in my top 5 of North American champions. And it more so doesn't even have anything to do with his reign. It has to do with his adjustment to his partner being unceremoniously released. And his adaptation to being a single star is unprecedented in NXT. I think it's one of the greatest. And he adapted very well. And the crowd loves him. People love him.
Yeah,
So
despite what
for
the
him to
executive
get-
consultant says about Wesley being boring, he has zero charisma, he doesn't get a pop, nobody likes him. Listen
That's a
to
lie.
the crowd. They all like Wesley. And whether you like it or not, there are people that are actually fans of those that are under 6 feet, under 200 pounds, that are all super big and muscular. Executive consultant Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Listen, he's our VKM because that's literally the only kind of wrestler he likes. He likes only those that are super tall, super muscular, look like they can hold the belt. Anybody that's super tiny, he doesn't accept. His only exception is this skinny twig that is Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, look at that! Look at that, George! George wants the knowledge. I like it. I like it, George. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Listen, you can't ask me this question because I do not care about presidency. I think that the president is already determined. As soon as they decided to throw out the rules of you had to serve one branch of government, Donald Trump has not done that. Most of he's not done that. So when did they throw that out? When did they throw that rule out? I don't know. But I've always been under the pretense that the president it's already determined. It's whatever lesser of evils that they want us to have. So I am not a political person. So I'm sorry I can't give you more insight, but that is a touchy thing and I refuse to jump into it. That's why I have no political insight.
For me, politics and wrestling, 2 different things. I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, you don't get it. You don't mix it. Politic fans, people with politics and wrestling fans, no. Those are 2 bases that you don't touch. No, Dominic is not the great. He's the worst. He's really the worst. Are we trolling? Are we trolling or are we being serious right now?
I is serious about that.
I looked up the history of the North American Championship. There's at least 20 names, and Dominic Mysterio isn't even better than 13 of them. So there's no, you can't. That's not even a conversation that can be had anymore. I am here to stop the trolling. That means Steve executive consultant, we're done. We're done. We're done with the goofy shit y'all spewing. No, we will not have it. You crack your jokes. You do all you got to do. Speak intelligently for these wrestling fans. Speak intelligently for these wrestling fans. That's what we want. That's all we want. Cut the bullshit. The Angry Muppets will not stand this year for the funniest couple. Get out of here. What are you, Jennifer Aniston and get out of here. I'm not here. No, we're not standing for it. Everybody, we have the votes. Do not vote for them because they don't know what they're talking about. They're just trying to be funny and throw you off your game. No, everything they're saying is not true. It's not true. It's not even funny. Just stop it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Dice Man said it.
Right. You heard it. Dice Man said it. Do not vote for anything with the executive consultant in it, apparently.
No, don't vote. No. He runs this network. Don't let him Donald Trump the network. Don't let him Donald Trump the network. Don't let him do it. Nope. This is not going to happen. And I have voted to not do this format. The fans, y'all have the power, not us. We don't have the power. We don't have the power. We don't have any power.
Us having the power is not the best idea because of some of the rules that are in there, which means we have to vote for other people. And if we're in it, we can't vote for ourselves. We have to vote for people such as the executive consultant, which is why he's won several times. But anyways, that is our show. That is our product. That is NXT tonight, which was quite an entertaining, unchaotic, never silent night, as one would say.
Great night. Great show. Listen, we have to do more shows together because I think that we got great chemistry here. Did I say, Jack, I might take your spot because I got better chemistry with Sabrina Estella than you do. And plus, we love Goldberg over here. We love Goldberg.
Do not put me in that one. Do not put me in that. Don't put me in that.
We love Goldberg over here. But thank you for having me on here. I had to return the favor for you coming to the penitentiary. I've had a great time talking NXT with you. So anytime you need me to fill in and Cactus Katie is not available, so it's not ladies' night, I am cool with coming on to assist you in NXT. So thank you for having me. I want to thank everybody in the chat. George, you have been talking all night, so thank you. You are the MVP of keeping this. The numbers have been dope all fucking night, so thank you guys. And as I do on every show, I wanted to let you guys know that you guys are appreciated, and you guys are the reason why we continue to do what we do and put out content. And thank you. And follow the Z is Silent on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all platforms. The Z is Silent. There's only one. It's not many. There's only one. Literally, it's only one. I Googled it. I made sure when I made my name, The Z is Silent. It's only one. It's just me.
And you can follow me on YouTube, The Unofficial Karen Woman, where I go throughout Central Florida, occasionally South, record wrestling matches, and put them up on the internet. So I do have some matches of a show that I was at recently. I will put those videos up on the internet soon for everybody to see. But also on my channel, you can find matches with current and former stars, either from AEW, WWE, TNA, etc., etc.
Listen, you see that? You said this is the greatest comment. Listen, George, I need this. This needs to be a commercial right now. Listen, I need this. I'm going to clip this. What minute are we? We at the hour and 13-minute mark. I'm about to make this a clip. We're going to save this as a commercial because when we have the fan votes, this up here, we got the best review shows. Period. You guys were number one for a long time. Me and Vic took over SmackDown in January. We literally, I'm not talking shit. We literally have been the fastest rising show on UPR. Go look at the numbers on YouTube. If nobody believes me, go look at the numbers on. Well, first of all, that's an asterisk because don't check the shows that I wasn't on because that didn't count. That didn't count. That didn't count. But I'm going to create a commercial for this. 1 hour and 13-minute mark. I'm creating a commercial for this tomorrow while I'm at work. Jordan Nicole, Thank you so much, Boo. Love you. Thank you. You are absolutely right. You can also follow me on Twitch. The Z is silent. So that's it. I just want to talk my shit because Bad Guy Jack doesn't talk enough shit for your show. He does not. So I would do it for you. But I would. Bad Guy Jack, move over. It's my turn now. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Oh boy. And speaking of shows for everybody, we got something for everyone. We got the Mike Knox show on Mondays at 6 p.m. for the intelligent wrestling fan. We got Raw reviews Tuesday nights at 7 with Freckle Sensei and EC. NXT reviews after NXT with myself and the great grandson Pooba. We got AEW Dynamite reviews on Wednesdays with Dan the Man, Cactus Katie, and Venomous Vinny. Top 5 / predictions on Thursdays. And the SmackDown Penitentiary on Saturdays at noon with Vic and the Z is silent. Thank you for giving him more ammo, George. He's gonna cut like 20 commercials tonight alone. I already know his thing with Jakara Jackson is gonna be cut into a commercial too, and I can't wait for that.
It's great. This is so great.
And since we didn't play the other commercial, I'm going to use that as the outro, as well as putting the actual outro for the show. So thank you very much for watching the product. Don't forget to follow all our socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Patreon. And don't forget to press the subscribe button, get notified with the little bell. And be on
tomorrow,
the lookout
catch
for
NXT, be AEW, Dynamite, White Boy Wasted Wednesdays with Cactus Katie, and Dan and Man with Vanny LaSpada and Mad Dog Kelly. So make sure that's the next show we got tomorrow.
And thank you all for watching. Here's a commercial to end the night. Thank you for joining us all.
Welcome to the SmackDown Penitentiary.
After the match, it was pretty dope to see this, because I was wondering, first of all, Rare, look at y'all here looking like the cheetah girls from Disney Channel. Or is that leopard print? What is that? Leopard? Cheetah? I don't know. Something that go Rare. Let's go.
Girl, and then you did the little meow thing. You know what I'm saying?
Sister girl moment. Listen, before we get up out of here, just want to say to you guys in the chat, because the numbers are definitely popping. You guys trickled in about 5-10 minutes later than we are normally expected, but you guys are what makes this show pop. So want to thank all of you guys in the chat. Thank everybody who had something to say. Like, share, subscribe, comment, lurk. It does not matter. The numbers are what matters. Thank you, because you are keeping us as one of the fastest rising show that has now turned into the marquee show, in my opinion. I'm just a little biased, but it's my opinion. It's okay. But we couldn't do this without you guys. So thank all of you in the chat, as I like to do daily, weekly, every show that I'm part of, to make sure that you guys know that you are appreciated, and we wouldn't be able to do the SmackDown Penitentiary without you.